Another week, another whacking. And your favorite irritated narrator, Cranky, is reporting on the whole deal. Last episode, Montague got whacked and burned for selling the distillery over to Dwight. Now the mafioso and the crew check out the burned down Montague house and appear to be shocked. Yeah, Dwight, that guy is toast now. What about my friend's enemy is my enemy? Bigfoot alone could have stood guard, mopped the floor with the Dunmeyers, and been back home in time for second dinner. But I digress. And the trouble doesn't end there. Dwight and the gang attend the funeral of Montague to pay their respects when suddenly the Dunmeyers show up as well. And they don't just come to show off their ginormous stones. No. Jeremiah offers Manfredi 3 times what he paid Montague for the business. Something feels fishy about this. Meanwhile, Cleo Montague is fuming that the Dunmeyers showed up and attacks Cole, Jeremiah's son. After some shouting and flying hands, they leave anonymously. What an exciting service. Again, I'm baffled by the lack of security Dwight's got. He really needs some more muscle in his team. Maybe Bigfoot has got some more brothers? But seriously, this is getting ridiculous. How do you expect anything to work around there when there's not the manpower or somebody standing guard? Everything's just gonna be wrecked by the Dunmeyers. Later on, Dwight gets curious why Dunmeyer is hellbent on getting the distillery so bad. Cleo opens up that there is a hidden place with 200 barrels of 50-year-old bourbon, which would amount to 150 million worth of booze.
Ka-ching!
Naturally, Dwight and the crew are all in. They want to start selling as fast as possible. So they only got 2 problems. First, the Dunmeyers kept the Montagues out of business for 10 years, so the distillery is in bad shape. And second, they can't sell the liquor directly, so they need a reseller that isn't afraid to get into trouble with the Dunmeyers. I don't know. This season is giving off A-Team vibes, and not in a good way. Are they still part of the mob, or are they just LARPing? It's time to rattle Dunmeyer's cage, not with a defense, kick their asses. So they fix up the distillery, and even try to bring in Tyson's dad for the plumbing. Boy, this guy looks good for a car bomb victim. I wonder what skincare he uses. Since Tyson's mom wants him to have an eye on him, he reluctantly agrees to do the plumbing. All the while, Dwight calls BB since he needs more manpower to deliver the liquor. BB is swinging by, but is pissed about not being in the loop about the distillery. He demands a bigger cut, and for Bodhi to bury the hatchet with his henchmen. Dwight bargains him down, and BB remains furious, but seems to go along with it. I think it's so funny that BB is permanently pissed about Dwight's fast and loose operation. He's a stone cold businessman, respects the chain of command, but somehow still works as a comic relief. On a more serious note, it's great that they address Tyson's shallow behavior through his interactions with his dad. If his character doesn't evolve, there should at least be some sort of awareness of it in the show. Earlier, he had pulled up to his dad's house in his Cybertruck. Yeah, I guess that was the most fitting car for him. So remember when I said that they play house instead of mob this season? They actually do some mob stuff in this episode.
That boy touched my car. You know what to do.
You're gonna be drinking worms through a straw.
Since nobody takes the Montague's whiskey, Dwight waltzes in at a friendlier reseller Walton Eustace shop and convinces him to sell the new badge. The guy is frightened, of course, since Bigfoot tries to help him with his anxiety. Bravo! Mob tactics in a mob show. No, seriously. I like that the show has humor, but looking back at season 1, it never stemmed from them being incompetent or weak. They're oddballs who don't fit in a mafia-like business, but they make it work. Meanwhile, Cleo is staying with Mitch, since Dunmeyer Jr. paid her a visit earlier. Senior receives the news that Walton Eustace took in the Montague liquor and sends them to attack Cleo and Mitch. They get attacked, but manage to fight them off and even cut Cole in the process. That's weird. You'd think that 2 guys could totally take on Mitch, especially since Cleo only got out and cut Cole towards the end of the fight. But good for him though. I also love that there's no police in this season at all. Apparently the Dixie Mafia got them all in their pocket. Well, at least the whiskey is good, am I right? And here's something I didn't see coming. Dwight is meeting up with Thresher. Remember Thresher? He runs for governor now. And naturally, Manfredi comes for support and makes sure that Thresher knows he's bought and paid for by him. I want to see more of those scenes. That's a mafioso for you guys. pushing people, negotiating, making clever decisions. At the current rate, I'd rather watch BB do business. Sure, he got higher blood pressure, but then again, his protégés are still alive. And what do you know? After a failed jump at Mitch and Cleo, Cole spots a douche forcing himself on Dwight's bar girl Spencer and jumps him. Spencer thanks the guy and they go separate ways. Huh. I was legitimately wondering if that was planned by Cole, or if he was just pissed at his dad for poking him with a hot iron instead of giving a band-aid for his cut. So he took it out on this prick while walking off his frustration. On this thought, I can't imagine Spencer is dumb enough to go behind Dwight back with Cole. Instead, maybe Cole will switch sides. I mean, when Rip gives you a good poke with a hot iron on Yellowstone, you at least get a cool branding and work for the cowboy mafia. Here, it's just for old Dunmire to feel edgy, and it leaves an artistically worthless scar. Well, one saved, one to go. And at the same time, Jeremiah himself pays a visit to the liquor store and has his goons beat the hell out of Walden, who called him when Dwight left, possibly killing him. Oh, Dwight. You know, when you strong-arm people into working for you and have them pay for your protection, you should, well, protect them? I mean, who's gonna take Dwight's word again? This guy is busy smoking a box of cigars and telling funny anecdotes at his bar instead of sending guys to protect his partners. And what the hell? Okay, well, certainly a lot to unpack in this episode. But I gotta hand it to Sheridan. The episode feels dynamic and entertaining till the very end. I like that they use all the characters, even Thresher and Armand, who we didn't hear about for a long time. They're still impacting the universe, which feels big and lived in. On the other hand, it's hard for me to understand why Dwight is getting so sloppy. He should know by now that Dunmire is no Girl Scout and will positively kill everything standing in his way to success. I give him being slow with Montague Sr., but Walden should have definitely gotten some backup to keep him safe. It just feels out of character for him to be so ignorant. Then again, I hope he's learned his lesson for episode 3. I'll be there whether he manages or not, so join me on next week's episode on Tulsa King. Thank you for staying this long till the end of this video. If you liked it, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell icon so you'll know when I crank out another video. Stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.